I have wanted to do a couple of warm ups. Let's get my joints moving. I know Ryan just got out of the car, so we just want to do some things to get the old joints moving. Smile a little bit. Let's go the other way. Good. Hips. Oh, snap. You heard that over there, didn't you? Wow. No, that was a knee. Yeah. But I'm upright, baby. I still got space, time, and air. That's right. Let's go the other way. Man, when I was in my 40s, I'd get a snap like that. It'd scare the crap out of me. Now it's just like, okay, at least I'm upright. I've had it go the other way. Good. All right. Double spirals. Oh, mm-hmm. Right. I'm glad you're up front. You can always tell the real sinners because they get in the back. ah, oh, couple more. All right, shake it loose. In fact, just shake for about 30 seconds or so. Shake it out. All right. So we're going to go through a couple of breathing exercises, maybe a Qigong exercise or two, and then we're going to have a little mobility exercise. So tonight, what we'll do as far as some of the breathing exercises, we'll do a few silk breaths, which is 5 count in, 5 count out, nice and steady, just an ebb and flow of breath. Then we'll do a calming breath, which is a 4 count in, 8 count out, nice and easy. We'll do about 9 of those. And then I'm going to take you through what is called a stepping breath. And the stepping breath will be 8 inhales, micro inhales, with a 1 second pause between, and then one long, steady exhale of 8. Okay. Now, before you start doing your mental breath accounting, going, okay, how much is that supposed to be, right? Because you're going to do it. You'll be doing like a little mental, oh my God, that was too deep. I'm not going to make it, right? Don't do all of that, right? Just, you'll figure it out, right? But it's called a stepping breath. And it's to help you. I find most of the time, whether it's patients, even athletes, some of the soldiers I work with, most folks have more trouble monitoring and managing their inhale than they do their exhale. Usually it's because they're just used to just to, yeah, there's so much is controlled involuntarily. When they try to take voluntary control of it, it can cause a few problems. So the first thing is, and I'm going to face, because the folks on camera can hear me no matter which direction I face. At least I think so. And so let's just take in a breath. Put it down nice and easy. Settle your balance. Get both feet flat on the earth, nice and even. For these next few moments, life is yours. This is your time. We'll begin with the silk breathing, gentle 5 count in, 5 count out. We'll just do 9 repetitions. Return to a natural breath for yourself. Check your balance. Check your openness, that your body feels fluffy, not hard. And we'll do calming breath, 4 count in, give it just a moment, and then an 8 count exhale. Each time you exhale, just let go of the stress, let go of the sickness, let go of the sadness. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm finished. 9 repetitions. Return to a natural breath for yourself. Check your body again. Make sure your head's upright. All the things you would normally need to adjust for yourself. Now the stepping breaths. You'll count in. I'll lead you through the first one. You'll count in for 8 micro breaths. Then you'll exhale for 1 steady 8 count. Then you'll do 8 more, 9 total. Okay. So in, 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 out. Continue on your own. There's nothing wrong with taking a little break if you have to. Take a little casual breath. You know, I don't want you passing out here on me. Return to a natural breath. Stand up nice and tall and just shake it out a little bit. Okay. Any comments or observations? You enjoyed it? Good. How was that last breath? I think that's the first time I've taught that one to y'all. And then the step in breath. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's calming. Okay. Well, good. Good. No, the idea with breath work, Sifu would always tell us breath work is, he would say it's almost like elementary school stuff, right? And it wasn't that he was downplaying. What he was trying to say is that it's fundamental. Okay. A lot of times when you hear me say that, it's easy to look at it and go, well, yeah, that's just ABCs. Mozart practiced his notes. Mozart wrote his chords. I mean, you have to have those fundamentals. And if you just bypass it, I'm going to just visualize. You're not doing your fundamentals. Get to where you're supposed to be before you try to go into what you call high level stuff. And you've been taught it, but a lot of times you'll be so busy just trying to get your posting done that you'll skate right through the fundamentals. Right? There's been a couple of students over the years who I literally was told, look, if that's what you can do, you might as well leave because I'm not teaching anymore. Right? And Ryan witnessed it a couple of times, I think. But for the most part, it's only because you've got to know you got to know your priorities. Now we're back to boots on the ground. Okay. So just practice your breathing and do some work. And if you get to do more, great. If not, it's okay. All right. So, and one of the last things with that, and then we'll move into the mobility exercise for the evening, is that, there was an old Shaolin saying that you can't wash blood with blood. I think I mentioned this before. And what it meant is that you can't solve the problems with your thoughts, with more thoughts. You can't solve problems of the brain by using more brain. The brain has two primary responsibilities. You and I talk about this a lot, okay? One is to construct thought. The other is to deconstruct it, the yin. Most of us only think about the constructive thought, and then we try to construct more thought to reconstruct that thought. Okay, and then your mind is too busy. You have to practice deconstructing thought. For some of you, it's easier. For you, it's going to be tough. Okay, it was tough for me, but you have got to realize those are the two aspects of the mind. So, with that being said, the only way that the Shaolin would approach it is, since we can't wash the mind with more mind, you get to the mind through the body. And when you get through the body, that's your pathway. That's the tunnel. That's the cave. And you can use something as fundamental as your breath to get to your mind. And you can feel it bucking and trying to escape off the corral, right? While you're trying to do it. And if you don't know what I mean, then you ain't practicing. I mean, it's that simple, because when I make comments like that, if you're practicing, you know exactly what in the hell I mean, right? So get to the mind through the body. Don't sit there in the misery of more thought, okay? So mobility exercise for the evening, just quarter turns, okay? Ryan had some observations over the weekend that we'll talk about a little bit later because he was at a seminar. But one of the things that you'll find that most practitioners, besides the yin part of their training, is just the lower body. Even the old Kung Fu classics, 75% of most practitioners' problems is from the belly button down. So if we're going to do quarter turns, I used to call it the compass exercise, right? So I have my right leg in, I'm in a bow stance. Now, if this is my 12 o'clock, you're online, just reverse it, right? And I'm going to go 12, 3, 6, 9. Okay? And I'm going to keep my right leg in the lead. All right, how am I going to do that? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rock back. And I'm going to, what stance is that? Cat stance? Baby step, out. Now I'm at 3. Rock back, cat, quarter turn, that little baby step, and then out. So you should be now 180, okay? That's right. Then we rock back, cat stance, turn. Now we're back to our 9 o'clock. Good. Rock back, quarter turn, and now we're right back where we started from. Now pause for just a moment because you're going to do this again. All right. What's the first, any observations or questions just based on that? Going through it once on a trial? No? Okay. I put a lot of emphasis on footwork as martial arts practitioners. In the clinics, we use footwork tests for elderly, seniors, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's patients, amputees, and things like that, to literally predict their risk of falling. And we know if I take you through this routine that and it takes you over this amount of time to do it, your risk of falling goes up exponentially, right? For martial arts, if you can't move your feet, you just get busted, right? You experience pain. so, but what I want you to notice with this in the mechanics of it, this is what we call shift pivots, because we're going to shift our weight out. And this is what we call the spring pivot, where this leg is empty. I'm not going to shift all my weight over to it. I can't even do that. But I'm going to spring off of it just a little, just a tiny bit. Because since you know where you're going in a 12 o'clock, since we're just doing the four corners, and you know where you're going, that's your form, right? That's your form. But since you know where you're going, you're supposed to have the precision and work on the precision that if I step back here and I know I need to go 90 degrees, well, if I step too far and this foot goes out, this toe is now turned in too much, and it feels awkward. It feels like it should have been here. Okay, so you have to learn where. If I know where I'm trying to go, your feet should have a good idea about where it needs to be. And you're going to find that when you make these little, what I call, Seafood Tim will call a baby step, it's literally this step. It's just that much. Literally like less than, what, half a footprint, maybe? Right? All right, go ahead and work on it. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Good job, Speed. Bader, there you go. No, don't, Bader, don't do the little hopscotch thing. All right, yeah. When you make that move and you go into that baby step, don't make this little skip action. All right, plan it. Yeah, plan it and then go. There you go. That looked much better. Good. Now we'll stay right there, Betty. You see how you are? See? Yeah. Okay. All right. Pause for just a moment before we do the other side. The one thing, there's a couple of flaws that you have to avoid. When you're in a bow stance, your forward toe, this is in this case my right arm, is pointing right at the camera, right? My back foot, in this case my left arm, is pointing 30 to 45 degrees out. Now, there are some people when they get through and they're in it, they're literally, their back toe is pointing the other direction. And you don't want it practiced at 90, okay? Not right now. We're doing bow stance work, so it should be anywhere from 30 to 45 degrees off that line. But you have to be committed to making that, okay, that Kim is my target. So when I step, I need to make sure that when I step, I know where my feet are going. Switch your legs, left leg forward. This time you're going to go 12, 9, 6, 3. Revert counterclockwise. For all of those who can't tell time. Like yeah, we're analog people around here. That's all right. That's okay. Just point somewhere. There you go. That looks good. Coming across the board. Good. All right. Bader, what did you notice of that exercise?
Getting my feet crossed.
Sometimes getting your feet crossed when the leg goes out. That's a good observation right there, and good that you picked it up. What about you, Bob? Anything you noticed about that exercise? Feels like a bakwa turn. Anybody who practices bakwa will look at that and have that feel, right? And it's part of the reason that generated this exercise for me, because as a football player and as a wrestler, we spent all of our time on footwork drills, right? If you're a wrestler, the one thing that you know all the time, it'll say circle, 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 drive. circle, 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 drive. It's the same thing. Football players scrape and all this other stuff. So there were sometimes footwork drills that I would generate out of a Bach Y exercise, like change palm 3, right? And you're sitting there and you're going, your footwork would have to come in. So doing compass tests, Ryan's one of the first stuff. I wish I'd have had a video of it when he had to learn the cross test. You remember the day? Yeah, right. Oh my goodness, I thought his brain was going to blow out. All right, so yeah. All right, so now what I want you to do, same exercise, except this time you pick a technique to do with it. Brush knee, parting horse's mane, working the shuttles. I don't care. It's your call, your laboratory. The only thing I ask is you do the same thing. You pick a technique. Rock back, baby step. Oh, did you go wind blows lotus leaf? Yes, you did. Right? Wow. Good for you. I know I'm keeping y'all a little bit later than usual, but that's all right. There you go, Kim. Of course, Bader went to the shuttles. Right. That's your apple butter, ain't it, Bader? Yeah, you're doing okay. It's your laboratory, son, as long as you don't blow it up. That's a good question, though. The fact that you have questions is something that I want you to smile about, right? Because now you've exposed an opportunity for yourself that you may or may not find a comfortable answer to. Not everything was meant to go one way, right? But the fact that you experienced a question is a sign that you're still learning and you might have opportunity. Jeff, what about you? When you get focused, you get quiet. So I have to check you, right? Any questions on that? It will feel that way in the beginning. The idea with the spring pivot is that you don't hop up, right? Your head don't bounce up. If you stay here, and what was the tricky part for that is the mechanical problem the mind will have, which is what, Ryan, when you first learn the spring pivot? Well, not just jumping, but the idea, yes, the first thing that will usually happen is that your mind will go, well, how am I supposed to pick up my foot that's got the weight on it? Right? And your mind going, how am I supposed to do that? Right? When actually the body is doing that. The mind's going, well, come on, we got to figure it out without hopping up, because then all you did was put all your weight on that leg, right? But to keep it there, stay under the tabletop and learn to spring off of it and then take off. Yeah, that takes practice. So yes, you feel like you're hopping in the beginning, but that's the right thing to feel. And then you'll refine that into better. All right. Any questions by adding a technique? I usually suggest pick one that you like. Wind blows lotus leaf is super flexible, versatile, right? Working the shuttles can sometimes be a little bit more difficult, only because you have to change the hands in the folding to get to the side. Since your right leg is going to be out if your right leg is going to be out each time, and you're trying to stay form friendly, so you have the opposite hand out the same way you would with the brush knee, then you have to make sure that you're folding to your left side, right? Now, I've never done that, but that's what I would do, right? Or I would have to double it up, right? So I could actually do, the first thing that comes to my mind is the dragon stirs the sea and make it look fancier. Wah! I had to do that with the lotus leaf because I messed up. If you ever get lost, cloud hands or dragon stirs the sea, will usually get you in some sort of position that you can fix it, right? So even if you're doing brush knees, you go, well, how do I hold the baby and get there? Well, if you're not sure, do two, right? Whoop, 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 whoop. Buys you time when you're in your cat stance, right? When you rock back and you go, all right, okay. It's a little after 6. Actually, it's 10 after 6. Thank you all.